Hi there. I just wanted to talk a little bit about being a leader with your horse. There's all kinds of ways of doing it. You can be like a dictator where they must obey, or you could be like a loving parent who is in authority and in charge, but is also kind and considerate. So that's like the way I like to do it. And there's a lot of variation in between, of course, and it depends on your horse. Some horses easily accept your leadership, and some don't, based on their um, insecurities or their dominance, where they see themselves as the leader rather than you. So there's a lot of play in there. I've been spending a lot of time with these wild horses, and they are super strict about leadership. They way more than I've seen in domesticated horses. They're like the young stallions are very well behaved because the older stallions and the older mares simply will not tolerate a rude behavior, and they are very strict. And so that makes the young wild horses actually super nice to handle because in their own social structure, they've learned to live in a community, they learn to live close to each other, and they learn to respect each other. And so that's really great. For domesticated horses, often they live near each other but not with each other, in the sense of having those kind of social interactions where they have to figure those positions out in their family. So sometimes they're a little bit confused about that kind of social aspect. I find wild horses, they're just super clear, and they really understand it. So it actually makes them quite easy to work with. So in some ways, in that sense, they're quite nice. So with Phoenix, he was out of about 16 stallions. He was about number 4 in the pecking order. So he was used to being a leader of most of them, but he wasn't at the very top. So he does accept leadership fairly well also. So I actually look for those things when I'm choosing a horse that will accept my leadership, but isn't super low on the pecking order, because those ones tend to be very timid and very reactive, and they need their trainer or owner to be a fairly I don't want to say a strong leader, but they really need leadership. And I'm kind of easygoing, and I don't want to be such a strong leader. Just a little bit bossy, is all I want. So I look for a horse that suits me in that respect. So when I approach Phoenix to work with him, I have a very clear intention, and you can see he responds right away by giving me his attention. If he ignored me, then he would say, I don't know if you're really the leader here. But he immediately gives me his attention. Good boy. And then I can ask him to come with me. And because he does see me as his leader, and I'm not mean, I'm never mean to him, ever. I'm always really kind and respectful, but because I am a leader in his eyes, he will leave his food and walk with me. And that's it. Like, it doesn't have to be aggressive. We have a very happy, friendly relationship with each other. We get along really well. If I was too strong with him, he would just want to avoid me. And that's what you have to kind of find. If you're too strong, when you watch the wild horses with each other, sometimes the dominant one just says, "Get out of my way." So how can you train a horse that's just trying to get out of your way? You can't. So you have to find that happy medium of that happy balance of he looks at me with respect, and you can see he's closing his eyes. He's comfortable with me. But I'm not so strong that he's moving away from me. But I'm not so soft that he's pushing me around. And that's the magic of finding that balance, because if we're too soft, and I'm pretty soft, but I'm still bossy enough that he doesn't push me around. And you see this with children and their parents too, where some parents are really strict and the children are very subdued. And sometimes you see that the child is actually bossing the parent around and the parent is quite subdued. So finding a balance in there where you can happily and comfortably work with each other.